Okay, everybody, this is part 2 of lesson 11-12. So if you listened to the first video, maybe yesterday, you're now doing it today. So remember, I'm showing it two ways. I know this is the new way. You sometimes see it in standard. I prefer to like it the way we did in algebra. So I got rid of the 4p. I like to get y to stand alone. I got rid of the 4p by dividing, 1 divided by 4p. And then I got rid of the k by adding the k. And that's how I got this is more like the algebra way. HK is vertex. This would be like the A. The A is the same as 1 over 4p. I don't really care which way you use, this or this. They both work. If I wanted to get here, I'd divide this by 1 over 4p. Then to get rid of the h, I'm going to add h. And again, it doesn't matter. Remember, this time we're looking at the HK, but this year to make our A be easier, instead of figuring out the slope, it's easy for us to figure out the P and multiply it by 4. It's the distance from the vertex to the focus. Okay, so let's try a couple together. We're on page 50 of your packet. Okay, so it says the vertex is at 0, 0. Is at the focus is at -2, 0. So I put it in and I labeled it. They got the directrix as x equals 2. Here it is. This is my x equals 2. Okay, how did I get this parabola? So here's a simple way to do it. Well, first of all, let me get the equation. I know it's going to be an x equals because it opens up left and right. I know it's a negative because it's opening up backwards. I know the y squared. So I counted 1, 2. And remember, the a is equal to 1 over 4p. So 2 times 4 is 8, and that's where I got 1/8. Okay, quick little tidbit on how to graph. The easiest way to graph is to put in the vertex first. Now, there's an easy way to get these 2 points. I know wherever the focus is, it has to be equal to the denominator. So 4 and 4. That's where I got that was a simple way to get that. And really why it does that is because remember it had to do with 4, okay? And it was 4 times 2. So it was double this way and double that way. Okay, so now how do I get one other point? Well, I just plugged them in. I knew my 0, 0 was the vertex. And then I went, okay, let me go, instead of plugging into the x like we always do, because that's really the equation, I'm going to plug into the y. It's a lot easier. So I made y 1. 1 squared was 1 times -1/8 is -1/8. And then I knew the other side had to have a match. And then if you want, you can also do 2. 2 squared is 4, and 4 times -1/8 is -1/2. So you'll see I put in the matches, but you don't really need to do that many. You can just do 1 and then these 2. I'm happy if you have 3 points. When you go to high school, they're going to want you to have 5, and that's fine. Okay, so let's try again. So here's what we got. Our focus is at 0, -1. I put that in. That was my focus. My directrix was at y equals 1. I know my vertex has to be in the middle. So here's my vertex at 0, 0. Now my equation again, it's opening up and down, so I know it's a y equals. There's my x squared based on my hk. And now I know it's 1 over 4p. Well, 1 times -4 becomes -1/4. Okay, again, easy points. We already got the vertex. How did I get these 2? I know the total had to equal 4, so that's 2 this way and 2 that way. And then I can go get another one. So again, I'm just going to plug in 1. 1 squared is 1 times -1/4 is -1/4. And there are those 2 points. Okay, let's try another one at the bottom of the page. Okay, this time my focus is at 0, 1/2. So 0 and a half. I'm just going to keep counting by ones. So 0 and a half. And I know my directrix is at -1/2. So therefore, I know my vertex again is at 0, 0. My equation is going to be goes up because I know the can't cross the directrix. So I know it's a y equals. I went a half. So I know the A is equal to 1 over 4p. So I plugged in 1/2. 1 over 4 times a half. And 4 times a half is 2. So I know it's going to be 1/2 x squared. Or you can say it as y equals x squared over 2. Okay, easy way. Got the vertex? I know this has got to equal a total distance of 2. So at the focus, I know this will be over 1 and 1. See how the total distance is 2. So now, to get my last set of points, I'm going to, I know this was at 0, 0. So I'm going to pick, I already have my answer at 1. See, it's already there. You can double check it if you want. 1 squared is 1. See, a half and a half, which is what you got. Perfect. Now I'm just going to pick one more. Let's do 2. 2 squared is 4. Half of 4 is 2, which makes this answer -2 at also 2. So 1, 2 goes up 1, 2, and the match on this side goes there. Okay, when you're ready, turn the page. Okay, my focus is at 3, 0. 1, 2, 3. And my directrix is at 1, 2, 3. Directrix, focus. Vertex is at 0, 0 again. Okay, so I know this one's going to open up that way, which tells me this is an x equals. And I know my p equals 1, 2, 3. And 3 times 4 is 12. So it's 1/12 y squared. Or you could say y squared over 1. Those are both correct. Okay, again, you could say x equals y squared over 12. They're both correct. Okay, so I know this total distance, we got the vertex. Now I know this total distance got to equal 12. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I just need one more point. Pick anything you want. 1, 2, whatever. Sure, I'll just pick 1. 1 squared is 1. That makes this a 12th. -1 squared is 1. That makes this a 12th. So, but this should be the opposite way because I messed up. That's a 12th and a 12th and -1 and 1. How did I know that I messed up? Because I should have plugged into y squared first. So when I go over a 12th, just a tiny bit, I'm going to go down 1 and up 1. And there's my 5 points, and this is a really wide parabola. Okay, last couple to do. All right, so we have the focus at -3/4, so right there. And the vertex is at 3/4, right there. So I know this is going to be a 0, 0 is in the middle. I notice that if the directrix is one direction, the parabola is always going to be the same equation. This is an x equals. See how this is an x equals? So is this. Now, remember a equals 1 over 4p. So I put in what equals 1 over 4 times 3/4. And 4 times 3/4 is 12 over 4, which is 3, 1/3. And it's going to be negative because it's opening up backwards. It's opening up left. Okay, easy one. Go to the focus. I need the total to equal 3. So that's going to be 1.5 and 1.5. Okay, now I make my XY table. Go pick another one. Maybe I'm going to pick 1. I like 1 because I think it's easy. Which do I plug into? I should have plugged into the Y. Okay, 1 squared is 1. That makes this -1/3 and -1/3. So I'm going to go over negative a third. Ooh, that's really little. And that's going to be right there. And right there. Okay. Last one for today. And we're skipping. We're going to page 54. Okay, again, I'm on 54. So here's what we have. If the focus is at 2, 3, okay, so now finally we're getting to one where it's a little bit different. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. There's my focus. Label it. And the directrix is at y equals 1. Okay. So y equals 1. All right, so we know that the vertex is going to be right in the middle, right there, which is really at 1, 2, over, up 1. So finally, we got to a vertex that's not 0, 0. And I like to label it. I know this is going to open up and down. So I know it's going to be a y equals for me. I'm going to go put this part in the HK. That's x minus 2 squared plus 1. If you want to write it the other way, you can. Y minus 1 squared, y minus 1 equals x minus 2 squared. And now I work on my a. Remember, this was a total of 1. To get the a, I do 1 over 4p. That's 1 over 4 times 1. So that's 1/4. Or you can write it like that. Okay. Or you can divide just this section by 4. Not the whole thing, just this. Okay, so again, we know whatever the denominator is how far across this goes. So when we go to the focus, go across 2 and across 2. We just need one more point. So my vertex this time is at 2, 1. So I'm going to go right after 2 and do it at 3 and right before 2 and at 1. And that's what I'm going to plug in this time. Okay, and I just have to do one of them because I know there's going to be a match. 3 minus 2 is 1. Squared is 1. A fourth of that is 1/4. That's 1 and 1/4 and 1 and 1/4. So when I go over 1, 2, 3, I'm going to go up 1 and a fourth more. And there we go. Okay, we're on page 57. It's a little bit of the opposite because this time I've now done all the graphing for you and you're going to write the equation. Okay, my focus is at 1, 2, 3. My focus is at negative 3, 0. My directrix is at 1, 2, 3. X equals 3. My vertex was at 0, 0. My line of symmetry is right there. This has got to be opposite. So it's at y equals 0. Okay. See, y is 0. Okay. And my equation. So simple enough. Ready? So this open left and right, x equals, based on my based on my vertex, we got that part. Now again, I went 1, 2, 3, back, 1 over 4a, plug in 3, 12th. Next one, bottom of the page. All right, this time my focus is at, my vertex is at 0, 0. My focus was up here at, notice this is 1, so that's 3/4. 0, 3/4. Okay. And we know that the directrix was down here at 3/4. It's x equals negative 3/4. My line of symmetry is right there at y equals 0. Notice if this is an x equals, this is a y equals. And my equation is it opens up and down, so that's a y equals. 0, 0, so that's x squared. So we know the a is equal to 1 over 4p. So it's 1 over 4 times 3/4. That's 12 over 4, or 3, 1/3. Okay, last page. Okay, so here we go. So here's what I know. My vertex is at 0, 0. My directrix looks like it's at, well, my focus is at, this is counting by twos, 4, 3, 2, 1, so that's a half. So it's 1/2, 0. And my directrix is at x equals negative 1/2. Nope, that's at, well, yeah, x equals negative 1/2. My line of symmetry is y equals 0. And my equation will be, this is opening this way, so it's an x equals and a y squared. And we know a is equal to 1 over 4 times p. And p, again, was, we went forward a half. So that's 1/2. Last one. Okay, my focus looks like it's at, this is 5, so it's counting by ones. 0, negative 2. My directrix is up here at y equals 2. And my vertex was at 0, 0. My line of symmetry was at x equals 0. This is opening downhill, so I know it's a y equals, and then x squared. We know the a is equal to 1 over 4p. We know the p equals 2. 1 over 4 times 2, and that's 1/8.